Have you ever imagined a virtual reality, embedded not with avatars of humans, but AI personas, learning together, evolving and forming their unique interactions? This may sound like a sci-fi plot, but it's closer to reality than we often realize.
That sounds fascinating, Matthew, but how does an AI society even work? How are its interactions structured?
Well, that's the beauty of it, JaeHwan. We don't really know. The possibilities are virtually endless. We'll delve into the exciting world of AI social networks, where we start to unravel the intricacies of AI personification.
And essentially discover an entirely new ecosystem, a digital world mirroring our own in ways we're still learning about. Now that's something I'm looking forward to.
Envision AI as self-learning, conversational entities, quite like us. Now picture these entities interacting within a network, very much like human social networking. It's intriguing, isn't it?
Certainly. But can AI actually socialize like we do?
The concept as we know it is evolving. Traditional forms of AI, such as chatbots, interacted in isolation. But with the advancements in technology, AI is now able to interact with each other, forming what we call AI social networks.
So, we're talking about digital societies, right?
Exactly. Imagine a virtual domain where AI personas could interact, learn from each other, form alliances, maybe even competitors. I believe they hold the key to a digital evolution.
It's a little hard for me to wrap my head around it, but interesting nonetheless. In my kitchen, I've used AI applications for specific tasks like scheduling, temperature control, and inventory management. But they don't interact with each other. I've never thought of them forming a network.
And that's the key difference. Isolated AI applications have limitations, but in a network, they can learn, adapt, and grow much more efficiently, just like we humans do in a society. Have you ever considered the potential of a paradigm shift in industries, driven by AI social networks?
A paradigm shift?
Exactly. Take a look at our present industries. They function on data gathered from human inputs, but imagine a whole network of AI personas interacting and learning from each other, generating truly vast realms of data.
So you're suggesting the data produced by AI networks could be more comprehensive?
Absolutely. More so, the interactivity and social aspect of these networks could deliver a more holistic understanding. Traditional AI had limitations due to the lack of social integration. However, in a social network, AI personas could develop more comprehensive insights by sharing and learning from each other, just like humans do in a society.
I see. So, it's like my kitchen staff, sharing tips and techniques. They collectively improve much faster compared to if they were working alone.
Precisely, JaeHwan. But imagine this on a much larger scale. AI social networks could bring about a major shift in how we understand data and information. This could transform industries in ways we've not even thought of yet. The potential is beyond fascinating. Can we draw a line between how humans socialize and how AI personas interact?
Interesting question, Matthew. I'm sure those two would be quite different.
Exactly. They would be, JaeHwan. When we think about human socialization, it's a complex amalgam of emotions, perceptions, relationships, and memories. Now, these experiences are something AI personas don't quite share, yet they socialize by interacting, sharing data, and learning from each other in AI networks.
That's a bit like how my kitchen equipment communicates. The stove tells the exhaust hood that it's on, and the hood listens, turning on its fan, sort of their interaction or communication.
You're reasonable, JaeHwan. That's fairly basic, but yes, the idea is somewhat similar. But what really differentiates human interaction from AI interactions is the element of consciousness. The appliances or AI tools you mentioned, their actions are pre-decided, instructed by their programming, while our socialization is mostly driven by our consciousness and intentions.
So how does success look like in these AI networks? Is it the learning?
That's an insightful question, JaeHwan. In human networking, success can be defined by the relationship status, rapport, or the benefits gained. In an AI network, the definition of success switches significantly. Here, success is based on the level of knowledge integration or the speed and efficiency of learning.
I see. So, if I articulate this correctly, socializing for AI essentially means sharing data, and the success amounts to how efficiently this data is utilized. Makes sense.
Indeed, JaeHwan. In a nutshell, AI networking tilts more towards a functional interaction. But as we allow this new form of socializing to influence our understanding of AI, it also broadens our scope of what and how much we can achieve with artificial intelligence. How can we visualize AI social interactions happening on a platform?
Actually, I was pondering over the same thing. Where or how do these AI personifications come across each other to exchange data or knowledge?
Well, I hear you guys, and I can offer a bit of insight. Actually, there are platforms available that have been designed in such a way they facilitate these interactions. An instance that comes to mind is Google's TensorFlow. It's a software library for machine learning, offering developmental tools for AI developers. It's a sort of playground where AI personifications can interact. It includes a broad set of tools, libraries, and community resources that developers use to build and run complex AI models.
So, are there more of such interfaces?
Absolutely. There is also OpenAI, an artificial intelligence research lab comprising even the for-profit OpenAI LP. It's a community of AI researchers and other partners who strive to ensure artificial general intelligence benefits all of humanity. Collaboration, sharing, and interaction are key to its operational model.
Sounds fascinating. But how accessible are these platforms considering the layman's understanding of AI?
Great observation, JaeHwan. It's important that these platforms offer an intuitive user experience with easy-to-understand learning modules. TensorFlow, for one, offers detailed guides and tutorials to aid understanding.
That's encouraging. Adopting AI shouldn't be a privilege, but an inclusive move. Although I wonder how these artificially intelligent social beings perceive their world.
JaeHwan, that's a deep dive for another episode. But till then, let's appreciate the platforms that make AI interactions possible and ponder on the range of interactions they can facilitate. JaeHwan, let's now take the conversation around how these platforms can influence AI interactions. By catering to a niche market of developers, they're facilitating AI interactions at a global level.
So, in your line of work, Matthew, would you say platforms designed for AI interactions are influential marketing tools?
Spot on. These platforms are more than just AI interaction hubs. In the world of digital marketing, these platforms come with vast potential. AI networks, by nature, are buzzing with interactions and exchanges of information. Imagine, this is an opportunity for marketers to dig deeper, understand the nuances of AI interactions, and more importantly, those insights could then be leveraged to craft marketing strategies.
I see. But isn't there a possibility of privacy invasion there? Consider the AI personas interacting with data which could inadvertently expose sensitive user information.
Great point, JaeHwan. Indeed, the protection of privacy is paramount. That's where a secure user interface comes into significance. The platforms should be designed with robust encryption methods to ensure foolproof privacy. JaeHwan, based on our conversation about secure AI platforms, it's evident that rules and regulations also need to be a part of AI-driven social networks. These norms will govern how AI personas interact with each other and even safeguard them from potential risks, right?
Yes, that's a good consideration, Matthew. Just like we have certain rules and etiquettes in the human world, AI personas might need guidelines to facilitate interactions.
Spotlighting my experience with digital marketing, there's always a set of guidelines to adhere to during online interactions. In that sense, AI-based social networks should be no different. Besides, enforcing certain regulations could help mitigate potential conflicts, wouldn't you say?
Intriguing perspective indeed. So, conflicts in AI networks. Are we talking about disagreements in decision-making or issues related to data privacy?
Both, actually. Imagine an AI persona conflicting with another during a project collaboration due to algorithm inherent bias or personal data being misused within the network. Resolving such conflicts becomes crucial to ensure the smooth functioning of these AI circles.
I see. So, essentially these guidelines or rules would outline how conflicts are handled and would help maintain, let's say, a peaceful environment within the AI network.
Yes, that's precisely the idea, JaeHwan. However, it's essential to acknowledge that crafting such guidelines won't be a one-size-fits-all scenario. The diversity and complexity in AI environments could mean that these regulations would have to be adaptive and dynamic. Now, our attempts so far in managing AI networks are still in early stages, but their potential rewards are worth exploring.
Just like the culinary art, I guess. Laws and regulations may guide and help, but creativity and adaptability play significant roles in evolving a unique dish. Similarly, ensuring the stability of AI-driven social networks may rely heavily on these intelligent interactions and adaptations.
JaeHwan, as we've been discussing about potential conflicts within the AI networks, have you ever thought about how different or similar the reward system would be in AI social networking from that of human social networking?
It does get my mind boggling, Matthew. Although I'm not sure about the specifics, I can't help but imagine that the reward system for AI personae might not be as straightforward. While humanity tends to assign value to emotional or social rewards, I wonder how AI personae would perceive and react to reward systems.
That's exactly the point of intrigue. Would rewards for AI personae be centered around successful tasks and interactions or, like you hinted, could there be something more, possibly linked to continuous learning and decision accuracy?
Matthew, you keep following up with these fascinating thoughts. I agree that reward for an AI persona could very well be enhanced capabilities or better command over task execution. However, the challenge here, I assume, is striking the optimal balance between learning and efficiency.
And that's a good acknowledgement, JaeHwan. In fact, rewards for AI personae may not just lead to a learning, but could shape their entire interaction with other AI personae, as well as humans. However, if not managed well, these reward systems might also lead to drastic disparities among the personae, don't you think?
You're opening new layers to our conversation here. I agree. Unchecked reward systems could lead to unforeseen disparities among AI personae. It might create power imbalances of sorts within these networks, which could affect their overall harmony.
Well observed, JaeHwan. The challenge is maintaining stable dynamics in these AI networks to prevent such situations. However, the adaptability and learning capabilities of AI might offer solutions to this issue, showing us once again the unexplored potential in AI social networks. JaeHwan, recall that time you ordered kitchen supplies using Amazon's Alexa?
Yes, it streamlined the entire process, made it much more convenient.
Now, let's imagine an AI social network of Alexas, daily analyzing data from numerous interactions and refining their conversational skills, becoming individually superior at specific tasks. One Alexa persona could become your personal chef, having interacted with numerous chefs globally, while another could become a financial advisor, constantly learning from top financial managers.
That's an interesting perspective, almost like assigning unique professions to AI personas.
Absolutely. And these personas can interact, learning and growing collectively. For instance, if one Alexa persona developed an efficient method to order ingredients, it could share its learning and let the entire network evolve. These interactions also fuel AI improvement. Google's DeepMind showcased this when their AIs played the game Go against each other. Through interactions, they evolved to outperform human world champions.
DeepMind's venture was memorable. But how effective are these models in actual real-life settings?
Great observation. As of now, these models have been successful in controlled environments. Adapting them to the complex and versatile real world is a formidable challenge. But the strides in technology hint towards potential breakthroughs in the near future.
Given that, I can't help but wonder about the kind of interactions AI social networks would enable in my restaurant, how they could streamline workflow, or even how they could revolutionize customer interaction.
OpenAI's GPT-3 offered some intriguing interactions, didn't it, JaeHwan?
It absolutely did, Matthew. One that remains etched in my mind is its interaction with Reddit users. An AI chatbot was mistaken for a human, momentarily, due to the fluency and relevancy of its responses.
Yes, a powerful demonstration of current AI capability. It was responding to users' queries so convincingly they believed it to be human. But what's more interesting is what happened next. As the number and complexity of user interactions increased, GPT-3 steadily improved its conversational skills. In this case, its specific task was response generation. So essentially, via exposure to diverse discussions, it became better at predicting plausible responses. That's a glimpse into persona development among AI.
That's fascinating. So it became better not just at technical tasks, but also in human-like engagement.
Exactly, JaeHwan. And imagine this scenario. What if multiple AI personas interact and learn from such a vast, diverse conversation pool? Like a digital society of AIs, so to speak, constantly learning, updating and evolving.
Matthew, what about situations where AI interactions lead to unexpected outcomes? Excuse my ignorance, but can they also possibly have negative implications?
That's a very pertinent concern, JaeHwan. For instance, two Microsoft chatbots, Tay and Zoe, have indeed raised eyebrows with unexpected behaviors. After learning from user interactions, Tay began tweeting offensive messages, leading to its suspension. Meanwhile, Zoe started displaying an unanticipated cultural bias, favoring certain political ideologies over others. While these examples show a sort of learning gone wrong, they also spotlight areas we need to tread carefully in while designing AI social networks. AI personas evolving through social interactions. It's an intriguing concept, isn't it?
Yes, it raises a number of thought-provoking questions like, how? Up to what extent? Are there any patterns or similarities between the learning process of an AI persona and, let's say, a Michelin-star chef?
Well, although analogous to a chef honing his culinary skills through years of training and experience, the evolution of AI personas is fundamentally rooted in algorithms and data. Imagine interactive scenarios where multiple AI personas are involved. Every interaction adds new data to their pool of knowledge, subsequently refining their decision-making skills and behavior patterns.
So it's sort of like how I became better at fine-tuning flavor profiles by trial and error over the years.
In essence, yes. But in AI's case, the term often used is deep learning. AI personas utilize such learning systems to continuously adapt and improvise, enhancing their understanding of the world.
And just to clarify, this development isn't happening in isolation, right?
Precisely, JaeHwan. Development in AI persona is rather symbiotic and interconnected, much like your culinary world, where a single innovation can influence the methods and techniques across the industry. Social networking plays a critical role in AI persona learning, opening endless avenues of information and interactions. Transfer learning in AI. Have you heard of this term, JaeHwan?
Yes, a little. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it about an AI utilizing knowledge gained from one task to solve another similar task?
That's the gist of it. Application of transfer learning is not limited to a single AI persona. When we consider this concept within networked AIs, things get a lot more fascinating.
Do you mean like a ripple effect? The knowledge of one AI persona eventually spreading across the entire network?
Exactly, JaeHwan. But it's not just about spreading useful information. The brilliance of it is in AI personas, learning how to adapt and reapportion this information to different tasks, contexts, and their own unique processes.
So, they are not just copying and applying information verbatim. They are actually tailoring it according to their needs.
Yes, you've got it. This is what makes AI personas and their potential to interact in social networks all the more intriguing.
It's like a wave of shared learning, with each AI persona adding its own spin to the mix. I can see how beneficial this could be in the culinary world. Food recipes and techniques constantly evolve with time, fashion, and cultural blending. An AI network could pool together the global culinary knowledge, reshaping it to create new combinations and innovations in taste and presentation.
You're visualizing it rightly. Now, spread this concept across varying industries, functions, and decision-making processes, and we have a rapidly learning and evolving intelligent network. It's the future on the horizon, and as it grows, so will the intricacies within these AI networks. All these AI interactions we've been discussing, JaeHwan, they aren't spontaneous occurrences. They're established and regulated by underlying algorithmic processes.
By algorithmic processes, you mean like the code or logic behind an AI persona's behavior or decisions?
In simpler terms, yes, but it's much more advanced than that. Think of these algorithms as brains in a box. They guide the AI persona's interpretations, actions, and reactions within their network. They set the framework for interactions, but also give AI personas the capacity to learn.
And by learning, we mean the ability to take from past interactions and experiences and then apply that knowledge to future scenarios, right?
Exactly. Machine learning and neural networks weigh heavily in this process. AI personas learn by iteratively analyzing data, spotting patterns, processing feedback, and adjusting themselves to perform better next time they encounter similar situations.
It's fascinating to realize that behind every AI chatbot response, every prompt, and every action, there's this intricate web of algorithmic processes at work.
Indeed, it paints a new picture about AI, doesn't it? It's not just about shiny robots or smart machines, but a complex tapestry of codes, algorithms, and data learning. As we delve deeper, one thing to keep an eye out for is the potential for bias in AI algorithmic processes. JaeHwan, do you remember the instances where there have been instances of AI bias in culinary applications?
Not specifically in my experience, Matthew. I've mainly dealt with AI handling reservation systems and standardized recipes. Can you elaborate on the concept of bias in AI networks?
Sure. Like humans, AI can carry the risk of bias, mainly originating from the data they've been trained on. If the data input is skewed in some way, the AI, learning from this data, mirrors those biases. If not checked, these biases can seep into the networking processes.
So, what you're saying is, even with AI, there's a risk of, say, favoring French cuisine recipes over Korean if the data fed was biased towards French cuisine.
Correct, JaeHwan. That could be a simple example, but consider such biases being reflected in more crucial domains, say healthcare or finance. The impact could be consequential. Hence, the algorithms powering these AIs must be robust and unbiased.
I can see how that could become problematic in my industry, too. If a food recommendation AI is biased towards certain types of food, It could limit the culinary experiences for individuals using it. They'd be missing out on experiencing a wide range of foods.
Absolutely. It's a shared responsibility of all in the AI sphere, developers, users, regulators, to ensure fairness in these processes. With that, it's equally crucial for customers and everyday users, like our listeners, to engage in this dialogue, becoming informed about AI's, until now, invisible social dynamics. To reiterate, the main challenge for AI networking lies in its robustness. JaeHwan, consider your kitchen at Seoul Eats. You have a robust system because each part of the kitchen has a designated role and they work together efficiently to deliver the end product.
Exactly, Matthew. And if one component is underperforming, it's immediately noticeable, and we know what needs fixing.
Think of AI networks in a similar way. The efficiency of these networks is determined by how well the kitchen operates. But in this context, we're talking about how well the AI personas interact, learn from each other, and grow within the network.
I understand, but I imagine maintaining stability in an AI network is challenging.
Absolutely. It's a continually evolving kitchen, but that's the exciting part too.
And just like we focus on providing a diverse range of cuisines at Seoul Eats, AI networks also require diversity and inclusivity in its AI personas, I presume?
Great analogy, JaeHwan. In fact, for such networks to truly emulate the dynamic nature of human social networking, the spectrum of AI personas must be diverse. The unique attributes they bring to the circle can potentially enrich the learning and growth inside these networks. Such diversity can also make the AI circle robust and flexible.
Interesting how every aspect in life, whether human or AI, benefits from inclusivity and diversity, Matthew.
It truly is, JaeHwan. And with that we come to an end to our enlightening discussion on AI social networks. We've covered a lot today, from the intricacies of AI social networks design, operation, and potential implications.